Okay, good afternoon. Thanks for coming. My name is Roy Butler, B-U-T-L-E-R. I'm a lieutenant with the Battleground Police Department, and I'm here to give you a little bit more information on the issues that we've been dealing with today involving the Battleground schools, some of the schools in our city. We continue to investigate the threats that were received yesterday. Officers are conducting interviews and following up on some tips and leads. The schools remain closed for today, and an assessment on when to reopen the schools will be made later today. That decision will be a collaborative effort between the school district and the Battleground Police Department. Officers have just conducted and finished a sweep of all of the involved schools, and nothing was found out of the ordinary. Specific details of the threat is not being released at this time due to the ongoing investigation. I will say that the threat was evaluated and determined to be credible. The FBI has been consulted on this matter. At this time, there is no direct federal involvement. They are merely a resource for us to help us with their expertise in areas that we lack. The collaborative decision to close the schools again was based on specific threats to a specific school. That's why you see that some schools are still open while others are closed. In dealing with closing schools, we try to work with the school district, and we try to impact as little as we have to in closing schools because we know what reaction that causes for the community. It was a measured response, and that act was to ensure the safety of the kids and the staff at the school. Other schools remain open, and they are not reporting any issues or concerns. We're asking that anybody that has any information out there that would assist us in our investigation to contact us at 360-342-5200 or direct to Sergeant Knuth, our Detective Sergeant, at 342-5254. At this point, there's nothing really new in the investigation. We are conducting interviews, we are talking with people, we've had input from parents, and we are moving forward with some leads. It's about all I can give you right now, and I'd be happy to entertain any questions if there are any. Yes, sir.
Hey, sir. Was it a threat from one specific person or a group of persons, or what? What can you tell us about that?
I don't know at this point if it was one person or a group.
I understand it may have been kind of a couple different things, maybe some sort of threat involving a suicide at Chief Untouched and then other threats at other schools. Can you clarify that as well?
The call started with a suicide report at Chief Umtuck and then resulted in some investigations and branched out from there.
What time you said called?
It was last night. I'm not sure what time it was.
And it's not can you tell if the same person is people are behind the suicide threat and what's other threat against the school?
It appears that everything is involved in one incident. That's the way it looks at this point.
It must have been pretty serious to shut down 5 schools in Battleground. It's a little 6 to shut down, I understand, 5 in the Battleground School District. It must have been a pretty serious threat.
Well, I mean, all threats are evaluated, and if we come up with a credible threat, then we take the appropriate response to that. We have emergency plans, which everybody knows. The situation that you have with this particular thing is there was a specific threat on a specific school. In responding to that specific school, there are other schools that are in close proximity. And although the specific threat was to one school, it was prudent and reasonable to take the action that was taken.
What is it about this threat that you guys deem credible?
The specificity of the threat and the specifics in the threat that we were able to look at and evaluate, and with the training that we've had in evaluating threats and threat assessment, it was determined to be a credible threat.
If that's specific to a specific school, why involve the other schools around?
As I just explained, you have proximity issues. They're all part of one campus over there. They're all within a very close proximity to each other, so it wouldn't make sense to close down a building and then leave the other buildings all around it in operation.
Do you think parents deserve to know more about this when you do something like this? A lot of parents are going, what was the threat? Am I safe at home? Do they need to know more information than they're getting?
We always have to balance the need to divulge information with the ability for us to investigate and catch the bad guy. If we divulge the information and the information goes out, it really restricts our ability then to conduct an investigation and go catch the people that are doing what they're doing, especially if the threat is credible. If it's an ongoing active situation like we think we have here, it's very difficult for us to give everybody all the information and still take care of business.
Obviously today is September 11th. Was that mentioned or referenced or, from what you understand, part of this threat?
I can't comment on that.
There's a
It's part
threat
of the
involved,
investigation, I'm sorry.
the threat of explosives or bombs.
I can't comment on that either.
Do you have any suspects or persons of interest?
At this time, no, I don't.
Is it related at all to a previous incident that happened in February with bomb threat at Battleground High School and it was just sentence last week? Any relation to that at all?
It's an ongoing investigation.
When will you make the decision on whether schools will be reopened? Is that something you work with the district on?
Yes, later this afternoon, we will reconvene with the school district directors. We had a meeting this morning, talked over our operational plans and how we were going to proceed, and then we will get back together this afternoon, see what we learned, see what we know, see what we don't know, and make some decisions from there on what we're going to do for tomorrow or the next day.
Were specific names mentioned, or just the school as a whole?
I'm sorry?
Were specific names mentioned in the letters, or were just the school as a whole? The name of the school?
What letters?
Or the threats, not letters, the threats?
There was specific threats. There were specific names, yes.
What can you say?
No.
What can you say to parents out there who just, want to know what's going on? Will my kid be in school tomorrow? What can you say to put them at ease, so to speak, that this isn't happening?
Well, I would love to have those magic words to put every parent at ease. I don't possess them. That's your guys' job. I would tell them that we are expending a lot of resource, time, and energy to make sure that we haven't missed anything and that they have a safe environment. And at this point, we feel comfortable with the situation is in hand. We are taking the steps that need to be taken. This is not our first time dealing with these types of things. And we have great support and resources from the federal level that's of great assistance to us. And there's not one police officer in this town that would hesitate for a minute that if we felt there was an unsafe environment in that school that we wouldn't take the right action. So we're doing what we need to do to make sure that school and that school environment is as safe as it can possibly be.
So Vancouver police as well?
I'm sorry?
Vancouver, you got some outlying officers helping too, of other districts, other agencies?
They've offered, but at this point we haven't had to use them. I'm sorry, ma'am, did you have a follow-up?
What would warrant a second day of closures of the schools?
Well, there's a host of things that could warrant that. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to give anybody any ideas.
How many people are involved in sweep?
Well, we had school staff helping because they know the school better than we do, and we probably had, I think, 4 or 5 officers over there today.
So earlier reports that the threat against the school was online. Is that accurate?
I can't comment on that at this time.
You mentioned suicide. Was that an actual suicide or was that a threat?
It was a threat. It was not a suicide.
Are you divulging what school specific? Or not?
Where the suicide was?
You said a specific threat at a specific school.
There was a specific threat to a specific school, yes.
But you're not telling us which one.
I can't at this point.
Was it 5 or 6?
There's 5. There are 5 schools that are closed right now.
When you guys do decide to open the schools back up, have you talked about what type of security precautions you there?
What kind of what?
Security security presence.
Oh, yes, we're planning for security presence when the schools do open. If that's tomorrow or the next day or whenever that happens, there will be a security plan in place to deal with that.
Who uncovered the school staff who kind of uncovered this threat against the schools after starting to investigate this suicide threat?
I don't specifically know who, but I know it was somebody at the school staff that brought it to our attention.
So they were looking into this report of the suicide threat and
I believe so.
is there someone specific who should be kind of singled out here as a hero or someone who, trusted their gut?
I think once the whole process is done and we can talk about that in detail, that I could answer that, but right now I can't.
Can you talk more specifically about this previous bomb threat to school in February?
I can't. It's not related at this point, so I really don't want to go into it.
So it's not related to it?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Okay, anything else?
Are you able to say if the threat or threats were made by a local person or persons?
I can't say.
Okay.
I can't address that right now.
Okay.
What does it mean to you personally to deal with
Personally, I've been so busy I haven't had a personal thought this morning, to tell you the truth. I'm a dad and I'm a grandfather, just like a lot of people, and I hate to see schools interrupted because I know that's a place that should be safe. Kids should be able to go there and not have to worry about these things. So.
Will there be another briefing later tonight or anything scheduled as of right now?
There's nothing scheduled, but I would anticipate that once we have our meeting today with the school district, that we will put some information out. Now, how that's going to come out and to what degree, I don't know. The reason I call this press conference today is because I know there's a lot of interest, and a lot of people are calling. My cell phone's blowing up, my email's blowing up, and rather than answering all your questions individually, I figured it'd be better if we got together as a group and dealt with it.
Is the understanding that this attack or whatever threats were to be carried out today? Plan?
Obviously, I can't talk about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? My card's on the table. Alicia in the back brought in some of the press release copy. If you need a hard copy of the press release, it's in the back there. Anything else? Okay, we'll keep you informed as we get information. Thanks for coming.